You're this perp back with another video when I just got done checking out episode 2, season 2 of American Horror Stories. And has American Horror Stories finally given us an episode that's worth watching? Let's talk about it because this was a very interesting episode. I want to know your thoughts about this episode as well in the comments below. So, our main characters, Jaslyn and Bryce, they're like a new formed couple. I don't know if they're already married. Or no, they are married. That's right. They did mention that they are married in this. And they're moving into this new house, right? And already, there is definitely some friction there, Bryce dealing with his new job here and Jaslyn just trying to figure out what she got going on. Anyways, Jaslyn goes to the store to pick up some things and stumbles upon this device named Aura. Now, this device is pretty much like any type of camera thing you would see most people have on their houses nowadays, which is kind of crazy, But there's an interesting twist with this camera that we find out later as she, installs it. But in between that time, before the creepy shit happens, they do focus a lot on Jaslyn and Bryce's relationship. And there's a twist to that as well. So, as, he has to go, I'm talking about Bryce, he has to go to work. He's constantly always going to work. He's always busy and stuff like that. He's not really around as much. He's very weird. He's very OCD too. And I think he's really psychotic at the same time. You know what I'm saying? No, he's definitely psychotic. Now, after watching this episode, if you just take everything in, the clues are right there. So, he goes off to work. Jaslyn is still sitting at the house. And this chime thing starts going off, the app starts working. And there's this old ass man. And it's really creepy. And if you know me, because I've always said this, there are two things that really get me in horror nowadays as like a person in his 30s. Because when I was younger, I was a lot more fearful of a lot of different things like Chucky. Nowadays, none of that stuff bothers me. But the two things that bother me are old, creepy people and old creepy children, like or just creepy children in general, like just in horror movies. No, can't do it. I'll watch it, but it's just that's the stuff that like really gets to me. So seeing that in this, seeing this old man just calling out for Jaslyn's name is just really eerie and really creepy. I really like the way that they shot this episode. There were some interesting shots, like having those like really close-up shots made it really weird, but it also made me kind of feel uncomfortable. Like, why is the camera so damn close to me, bro? Like like why is the camera so close to this person or who's in frame? So as Jaslyn starts to kind of do some digging throughout the episode, she comes to find out, like, oh shit, I think I know who this person is. This used to be the janitor at my old high school. He was kind of creepy and whatnot, and you start to kind of see that the clues there, because what was interesting, when the old guy first pops up, she calls the cops and he's not there anymore, or it doesn't pop up on the cameras. You know what I'm saying? So you already know right there that there's a supernatural element there, which leads her into pretty much looking into this person. And it was even creepy when you got to what was his sister. He was living with his sister or something like that, and his sister's really creepy as hell. The whole house is really weird. Like, he has a bunch of children's toys. I have no idea why. Well, you could probably think of something, but he probably definitely just has a childlike mentality, or just had a childlike mindset. Something probably happened to, I don't know. Really weird dude anyways. So what ends up happening is he pops back up, and then Jaslyn finally lets him in. And it's all about kind of resolving those two's issues. Like, all he wanted to do is say, I'm sorry. And then you hear in the news that he passes away. So there's that whole supernatural element there coming back into play. But where it was cool, but it kind of lost me at the same time, is when we get to the twist, which was a really dope twist, I think. But what kind of ruins it is just the way Jaslyn is, like, acting. It's just really, I don't know. It's just, I was liking her up until a point. It just started to kind of fall flat. But let's talk about this twist, because as those two get their stuff, like, resolved, another person pops up on camera, and it's this white girl, and she doesn't know why this girl's here. And then all of a sudden Bryce starts to act really fucking weird, bro. He starts to act really out of pocket and starts to get rid of the aura camera, which then leads her to kind of like look at him a little suspect, and she starts to look into this a little bit more. And I like that Jaslyn's able to pick up on things very quickly. That's really dope. You know what I'm saying? That's what I like about her. It's just the way that she acted towards the end of this episode. I just thought they could have gave her more to do. They could have done something different with that. But yeah, as she's looking into it, she finds out that this person died like 15 years ago or something like that. And it was weird too. I think it was like 15 years ago. I could be off. But then she starts to press Bryce about, like, yo, who is she? She's not here for me, then who is she here for? And then Bryce starts to admit that he used to have a fiance. But what she didn't say, but what happens is Jaslyn ends up letting his ex-fiance in the door. This is where we get a big kind of twist that he didn't just leave her there. You know what I'm saying? They got into an argument, and he got a little bit, too physical. But then she ended up getting hit by a car. And then instead of calling for help, he just like looks at her really sinister and just puts his foot on her neck and just breaks it and just finishes the job. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. But there's then the acting and just how the scene kind of, just the way the scene was kind of done, I felt like it could have been done much better, because all of a sudden then now he goes to get rid of Jaslyn because she figured out the truth. He ends up kind of like just dying and just disappeared. I just don't get it. But I like the whole, Thanos snap. That's what it kind of looked like. He just got dusted. That whole effect is pretty crazy. I just think that that whole scene could have been executed better. I like the twist. And then some months go by. She moves into a new apartment, which it makes me feel like this was like a callback to Hotel. And now every house has the aura thing. So then Bryce pops back up as a ghost to continuously haunt her. That was cool. I like the twist, even though you can kind of see the signs early on with Bryce and just the way he's acting. It's just really out of character. But I just overall think that this was a solid episode. I thought that this is where American Horror Story needs to go, because this definitely felt different in a sense. This kind of felt not connected to anything, and I would probably watch this again. Let me know how you guys feel about this episode in the comments below. Is it the best one of the series so far? Do you still like the first episode more? Till next time, I'm out. Peace.